Yeah. What up there, people? I am back. Um, I am here. Sorry. After the, just because the Snyder Cut announced last week, it was just, I felt like it was just not a, it didn't make no sense making videos, so I just took a few days off. But we are going to kick off my first video this week with the Snyder Cut. And I'm going to address something really quick. I watch a channel called Geeks and Gamers. Their YouTube channel, they talk pop culture stuff and a lot of the issues. You may not agree with a lot what they say, but Zack did a charity stream with them last week, and he came on and he made some questionable comments saying like stuff about hate, and I don't think, I'll just say this. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers probably made him say that because Warner Brothers, these companies are so scared of people having different opinions on shit. And it's such bullshit, man. And I'm not mad at Zack. I think it was WB, and I think he could have worded it better, and I think he should have made the statement separately. But it is what it is, and I feel like I just have to address it just because a lot of people who watch my channel are who do watch Geeks and Gamers, and I don't want to just look like, oh, I'm just fanboying for Zack Snyder and not even acknowledging that. So I just wanted to address that really quick. I don't like what Zack said, but I want to move on from this, and I just wanted to address that. So now we talk about the movie. This is a movie I've been waiting for really my whole life because we got Justice League, and I remember seeing that, and I should have saw it then, but there was just I didn't know about the whole behind the scenes stuff. So I was initially okay. I didn't love it as much as I loved MOS and BDS, but it was like I was still like, okay, it's all right. But then the more I started to hear about the actual Snyder Cut and the stuff in it, it was just like, okay, Warner Brothers, you fucked up by cut. And then the fact that the fans were able to rally and get this to be a thing, it was already like the footage was out there, but Warner Brothers didn't want to fucking use it or do anything with it. So it's such bullshit. But we were able to get it done. And last year there was an announcement, and that it was going to be on HBO Max, and it came out last week. Man, this movie was it was incredible. I didn't think anything could top Man of Steel. I have been saying that in a lot of people's comment sections who've been talking about the movie. As much as I love Man of Steel, I think I'll still say like objectively, like if I take like the fanboy goggles off, right? I think Man of Steel is probably a better movie. Same thing with Watchmen. Those are probably objectively better movies. But this movie just it I was on the edge of my seat the whole fucking time. It was almost like I love how it gave us a real look into the world of DC. I mean, I'm not saying Man of Steel or BVS didn't do that because I think they did. But this one, like, you got to see Central City, you have Themyscira, you have Atlantis, you have all these worlds with it, like, and we got a very quick look, but it was of Apocalypse, you know. So it was just like nice to see that. Like, I'm like, my God, this is like DC brought to life. I'm not gonna be reviewing like this, like I review my other movies. I talk about this movie's 4 hours, and my phone can only do 30. I might like do more discussions of this movie. So this may not be like the only review. I'll try to make this like this is a review, but it's not. I'm just gonna be talking about like the big stuff. I love the opening of this film. The what Superman hearing the like seeing the different perspective of angle of Superman's death and getting the shots of Batman and Wonder Woman watching. You got his screams were activating the mother boxes, like Cyborg's mother box. It activated the mother box at Themyscira. It activated the mother box in Atlantis. It's just all those shots. And and that like another shot I really love was that different angle of Lex. This was a deleted scene, but this was in the Ultimate Edition of BVS, where you see Lex Luthor in that quick shot of Steppenwolf. They actually show a different angle of it. I really love that. People complain about slow mo can fuck off. It's only in like action shots, and it's not that bothersome. And for me, I look at it this way: I'd rather have an action scene, someone try to do something unique than just another. Oh, I'd rather Zack Snyder do that slow mo shit versus like other actions movies where they do this like shaky cam garbage. I will take slow mo over that because at least I could see what's going on, and it's his own style. Well, it's not his. Slow mo's really any director could do that. But the point's like, I'd rather that kind of style than this stupid like shaky cam shit, in my opinion. So, just Steppenwolf all around as a villain, man. Just he was a fucking boss, and that's why like I put him above General Zod. Like, General Zod was great in Man of Steel, but Steppenwolf, like, I just the fact that his attack on Themyscira, just that part of it was insane. Just seeing Steppenwolf just wreck the Amazons, and the Amazons were actually fighting back. They weren't just fucking wimps who didn't do shit. They actually were fighting back, and they actually had a plan. Like the fact that Hippolyta had to sacrifice that sacred building, and that's that shot of it. Her having to watch that, and there was her fellow sisters were in that. Obviously, Steppenwolf and the Parademons got out, and the Parademons were a fucking formidable foe too. They weren't just cannon fodder like the Shatari or the Parademons in Justice League, where they're just there to get beat up and that's it. They actually were kind of a threat. And they got some shots in on the Amazons too. So just Steppenwolf yeeting horses. His axe was actually an axe. Like, I know in Justice League it was still an axe, but for some reason, because you couldn't show blood, it was basically a hammer in all essence. So it was actually kind of nice to see. That's why the R rating made sense. And I don't think Zack Snyder overdid it with the violence. I saw some complaints. I disagree. I mean, and it could just be I'm a horror guy, so I'm all for fucking violence. I'm all for that. So, and just Steppenwolf eating the horses, just wrecking the Amazons, getting the mother bot. Like, he, and actually was awesome that he had a backstory. In Justice League, there was no backstory. It was, if you didn't get that one line in Justice League where he said for Darkseid, he would have just been like a generic villain who's just saying mother. He actually has a whole backstory, him getting kicked out of Apocalypse. It was cool seeing Desaad. And I'm gonna get to Darkseid. I will get to Darkseid, but it was just awesome. Like, this little, just one line of dialogue. All Desaad said, you betrayed him. Like, one line of dialogue. They didn't show anything, just one line of fucking dialogue, and you already get the story. And you already get like, oh, okay. It it's so much better, man. And I think Justice League, I will say this. I didn't know about the whole behind the scenes stuff when I first watched it. I know I saw headlines, but I was so caught up. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. And then it sucked, but I ate it. Like, I was like, in a way, I was like, it's not BVS or Man of Steel, but I'm like, it's alright. But then the more stuff that came out about the behind the scenes stuff, the fact that Darkseid was on the cutting room floor, they cut out Martian Manhunter, and all this shit, I'm like, okay, this movie is fucking garbage. And it's fucking shit that this is like, that's what they decided to put out, and then you watch this. Cyborg, his whole backstory's cut out. And his back, when Zack Snyder said he's the heart of the story, he meant it. Like, if fucking Cyborg or Flash didn't help out with the final act, the Justice League would have lost. And I will get to that why. Get to why. So another badass Steppenwolf scene is when he attacked Atlantis, and just you know Mira, and I'm gonna, the big elephant in the room with Mira is Amber Heard's a giant piece of shit. A lot of us call her Amber Turd because of her shitting on Johnny Depp's bed. She's a piece of shit human being for the whole false accusation shit and all that. But I'm gonna say it. She's good as Mira, and Man, if she wasn't such a scum fuck, I would not be. I would be down to see her more of her. But after Johnny Depp getting fired, I gotta be consistent. So, no, I will not be watching Aquaman 2. I think in this case, and I'll get to this more in the end, this could be different if, let's say, in a universe, Zack Snyder does get it too. She's not gonna be the biggest role in that. In Aquaman 2, she will be. So I think that's why I look at that differently. But she's actually a solid mirror. So Steppenwolf attacking, just wrecking Atlanteans. Just, I'm sorry, I'm all the gore, man, was so good. It was just chopping motherfuckers in half and just, yeah. And Mira, like, it was all like interesting to see, like, Mira was like trying to suck like Steppenwolf's like liquid out because she's Atlantean, so it makes sense. Like that kind of shows you how powerful the Atlanteans are. Like Zack Snyder really shows you how powerful the Atlanteans and the Amazons are. I think he really shows you like and Kryptonians too. If you're going to, I'm not throwing Kryptonians there. Like these races of people, like he really shows you like their strength. So Aquaman makes the save, and Aquaman in this movie is really good. He's not just surfer dude, because in Justice League, his all he was my man, and he does say that in this, but it's actually more natural. It's not as. It's just yeah, man. Everyone got like Ezra Miller, who in Justice League just looked like a joke, and he had lines like "I just push people and run away," like just really cringy shit like that. I'm just like Zack Snyder in his cut. It really shows you why Zack Snyder picked him. Ezra Miller might be a weirdo in real life, but I really do like his Flash in this. He actually feels like the Flash from the cartoon. I understand Flash from the cartoon was Wally West, not Barry Allen, and I can agree maybe he should have been a Wally West instead of a Barry Allen, you know. But and like I said, in the final act, if Flash didn't do that reverse time, oh my god, that whole sequence where him just reversing time, and because in that, I like that Zack showed Justice League lost, because Steppenwolf wanted the mother boxes to form the unity, like so that aspect was in Justice League, but Justice League cut out Darkseid and didn't even mention anti-life equation, and you get a lot no nightmare stuff, which the nightmare scenes, oh my god, that scene between Joker, I know I'm like just jumping around, but unfortunately I'm just gonna have to be doing that. Stepping like Joker and fucking Batman, that whole scene, it was all like, because you gotta remember, this is the first time we've seen Batman and Joker on screen since 2008, since the Dark Knight, so it was awesome like seeing that again. Just um Ben, and I want to see a Ben and Jared movie. I really do, and I really like that Zack Snyder is giving Jared Leto. And from what I heard, the reason he put this in because he didn't know if he's not knowing if he's gonna get another one. So he's like, we gotta get these guys on screen together. And Jared Leto got fucked over in Studio Squad, so it's like they really got to let him shine, and their whole dynamic was great. And Batman, I'm like, I'm gonna, and, and when Batman says, "I will fucking kill you," it's like, holy shit. That whole nightmare sequence. It was even Mira was there, and see, like in Zack Snyder's universe, Mira's gonna probably be in roles like that. She's not gonna be a big part of the Justice League story. So I'm not necessarily against her being in if she's just a reduced role. Not like in Aquaman 2, where I think she's gonna probably be in with Jason Momoa the whole movie. So, but that whole sequence was awesome because we got a little taste of it in BVS, and we actually got to see it. And it made Superman sound like a horror character, like, oh, he's coming, And then when he shows up with those red eyes, and Martian Man, I know, just jumping again, that Martian Manhunter ending. Well, I know you see him before, where there's a scene with Martha Kent and Lois, and Martha is basically telling her, you gotta get your life going, and basically, you kind of basically you've grieved enough. And it turns out that was Martian Manhunter, who was also the general from Man of Steel and BVS that you see. that guy is Martian Manhunter. It shows you that he was there the whole time. And I love his design. His design is a good live action design. It doesn't look cheap. It doesn't look like a Power Ranger villain like the CW version does. It actually looks good. And then the final act, well, pretty much the final big scene of the movie, where he, talks to Bruce about Darkseid's invasion. That's an awesome setup. I love that scene. I love the music, the score. This score, I mean, Man of Steel score is still probably the best. I think Man of Steel score beats this score. I'll still be honest about that. But I do love the score in this. It's very like in the music that plays when Flash does the reverse and the whole like. I know I'm just fucking jumping around, but it's just that scene where Flash like reverses time. The music that kicks in, I'm like, that should be Flash's theme for the DCU. It works, and just seeing like everyone like him reversing time and all the characters like the shot before Superman just makes his big return, which I'm gonna talk to about separately really quick, and you just see it like the world being remade and like the blood being and I know it's like CGI, but it looks really good. It was awesome, man. I love that whole sequence where Flash saved the day and Cyborg, like I mentioned, if he didn't like separate the boxes, you know, them two, they really saved the like show. Like everyone had a purpose in that final act. It wasn't like Justice League where it was just Superman making the save and it was all Superman. Everyone put in like on all that final act. And Wonder Woman, let me just get to her really quick. Hold on. Let me see how long I've been filming. Okay. Wonder Woman was awesome. Like, I love that this movie to me is Wonder Woman 2. I've been kind of saying that for a while because Wonder Woman 84 was fucking trash. That's why I didn't even review it. I didn't even do a review for it. This one, like, redeems her. This is, to me, what Wonder Woman should have been. Her opening scene with the terrorists. And people complaining she kills can go fucking fuck themselves. They're these fucking whiners who agree that a bad guy gets killed. They're fucking terrorists. Who fucking cares? They're throwing motherfuckers on the wall. Like, that's a better opening than her opening in 84 where that was just cringe. This was just badass. And she wasn't even using her sword or shield or nothing. She was just wrecking these motherfuckers. I was like, okay. Like, that is what I want from... Zack understands Wonder Woman. He clearly does. That's why her opening... Like, a lot of people may not like BVS, but her part is considered the favorite parts of that movie. Next to the warehouse scene. This movie, like... And her whole story with her sisters... And Steppenwolf going in her head, like... You know, you didn't protect them. I love that whole shit, man. I love that whole dynamic. Oh, man. Ugh. And then her be able to get the final blow on Steppenwolf for the decapitating his head off. WB to cut that out because, oh, they're scared to show villains getting decapitated. It was awesome, dude. It was... And Batman getting redeemed. Because Batman and Justice League had some cringy lines like, something's definitely bleeding. And then you got that, what I call the Batman O-face when fucking Superman showed up. He makes this... I'm like, why are you making that face? What the fuck are you doing to Batman? And like, we're supposed to believe this is the same Batman from BVS who beat Superman's ass, who did that awesome warehouse scene. I'm like, I'm supposed to believe that's the same Batman. In this is the same Batman. You know, I like how he also acknowledges his failures in BVS. It's like, maybe not flat out like dialogues, oh, I fucked up in the last movie. But I like the, like, I spent a lot of time dividing us. It's almost like acknowledging what he did. I loved his dynamic with Alfred. Jeremy Irons is my Alfred. I think he's the closest to the comic Alfred, too. He's actually helping him build gadgets, and he's not just, like, his butler. He's actually knows how to build gadgets. He's a former agent, you know. Man, I'm gonna talk about Darkseid, man. Okay, before we talk to Darkseid, I guess we gotta talk about the history. The history lesson in this, in Justice League, they cut it down. In this, you see the full scope. It felt very Lord of the Rings, and I'm not the only one who said that. This feels like some Lord of the Rings, some 300 shit, when all the tribes of man, you had Atlanteans, man, the Amazons, the gods come together. Oh my god, it was Darkseid who they were fighting, not Steppenwolf. And this was Darkseid as Uxas. So this was his initial form before he became Darkseid. And man, even then he was wrecking some motherfuckers. I know he got his ass kicked, but rarely does a villain get his ass kicked and you're still like, okay, this dude's still badass. It's like you got to see a Green Lantern and you actually got to see more of him because you saw a quick shot of him in Justice League, but you actually got to see him. And then when Darkseid like just chops his hand off and stabs him, impales him with his spear, and then he tries to take the ring, I actually like that because I feel like that's something Darkseid would do. He would try to take that shit, and it took um, an Atlantean, a shot from Zeus shocking him, and then fucking Ares with the fucking axe to the shoulder. Oh man, I love the history lesson, man. That whole history lesson was fucking awesome. And the way Diana was narrating it, it was much more natural. And it kind of cut back to her talking to Bruce. It was just done more naturally. And then, so basically, I love that whole sequence. And then, uh, so Darkseid, when we actually get to see him, man, he, I love Ray Porter. His voice was fucking, he's my favorite Darkseid voice now. I love Michael Ironside, and I know I love the DCAU, but my god, Ray Porter's voice was like, that's Darkseid, you know? And just when Darkseid makes his first appearance as Darkseid through when he was talking to Steppenwolf, and like the parademons are already like kneeling, and Steppenwolf kneels, and I love that they actually talked about the anti-life equation. They actually talk about that because that is a big part of Darkseid's story, and they don't even mention it in Justice League. Why name drop Darkseid if you're not even gonna fucking if you're gonna cut him out of the fucking movie? And it was cool seeing his Omega beams really quick in a quick vision where this is where they were trying to revive Superman. And I like that in this, when they're trying to revive Superman, the initial idea in Justice League, they were like, let's have Diana argue with fucking Bruce about it. Because I think the Geek Blend is another YouTuber I watch who says this and is perfect. All Joss Whedon knows how to do is make people fucking argue. And that's all they did. And they made Bruce look like a dick for no reason. And realistically, why would Diana have a problem with it? She would see that as a strategy. She might say it's risky, but she's like, okay, we have no other choice. So yeah, I like that everyone's like, Aquaman tried to back out initially, like obviously when they're actually in the middle of doing it. So when they get to the Kryptonian ship and stuff, and I like that in this. When Cyborg puts like, 'cause, he makes his hand the key, and he actually starts getting visions of basically the start of the nightmare, the world getting consumed. I'm assuming that's the anti-life equation. You have Diana dying, and you basically have the Darkseid taking over Themyscira, and the shot of Hippolyta's tears, man, that was that was awesome. Great acting. Darkseid killing. I think they've said that was fucking Aquaman, and then the shot of him doing the Omega beams, and then a shot of him turning around with the Omega beam light still in his eyes was fucking epic. And then this scene, and then the next scene is because Zack Snyder said in his original ending, Darkseid comes down and kills Lois. That's why Lois is the key is mentioned in BVS because Lois dies. It's almost like because in Justice, the similar thing happens. Lois dies, Superman becomes a tyrant. In this, he's a servant to Darkseid, so he kind of like almost combines it. So Darkseid comes down and kills Lois. And this shot of Superman holding Lois in his face with the tears, and Darkseid just putting his hands on him. I'm like, that's some Revenge of the Sith shit. Like, very much got Revenge of the Sith vibes from that. It was just, man, oh, that was incredible. That was fucking awesome. And Superman's return was awesome. Like, the Superman versus JL fight was a lot better. It was more drawn out. You didn't get cringy lines like something's definitely bleeding. You didn't get shit like that. It showed the strength of Superman, and just And Lois does come, but it's not like in Justice League where fucking Batman has a line of "Jeep, we gotta get the big guns," and the big guns is Lois. No, Lois is the key. Is not that. Lois just happened to be there. And then Superman getting his suit was awesome. Getting to hear Jonathan Kent and um and Jarrell again. I love Russell Crowe as Jarrell, and I love Kevin Costner as um, Jonathan Kent. So they're all getting in his head, and the time is Superman getting ready to fly, and the stuff moving around him, and the black. Oh my god, it's fucking epic. And the funny thing about that suit is just the regular suit, but just he added the color post, and it looks epic. It looks professional. Hold on, let me see. Okay, I got it right. So, um, it just looks great, and then Superman flying in that epic shot. So many good shots, dude. There's so many. Like I'm not gonna name them all, but like the whole sequence with Flash saving Iris was awesome. Just the little attention to detail, like the ground shaking, the when Flash like. I know I'm jumping around, but like, or back to Superman when he's flying and like the Earth moving. They did that in Man of Steel, but this was like on a bigger scale. And then Superman's return was just awesome, so much better. You know, Steppenwolf's about to hit Cyborg, who's trying to unsynchronize the mother boxes, and Superman just flies down, and the fucking axe just hits him in the shoulder. And I love just Superman's like not impressed, and it's so much better. No like something about justice so cringy in Justice League, and no O face from Batman. And then he blows uses his heat uses his breath to freeze the axe, and he breaks and just Sparta kicks and just proceeds to fucking wreck Steppenwolf. And I actually like that Aquaman and Wonder Woman join in. Wonder Woman does her clinging with her bracelets, and then Aquaman whacks him with the fucking trident. And then this is where another boom tube shows up, and this is where we get a shot at Darkseid, Granny Goodness, and I love that shot, by the way. That's one of my favorite shots in the movie. Like, there's just so many good shots, but that's one of them. Just, and then this is where Flash has to come in for the save. Like everyone, and then Cyborg's in inner monologue when he's like, his parents are like, the boxes. It's these monsters that represent the boxes, and it's so done well. And then yeah, so they save the day. And the way Steppenwolf's death was so much better in this. Well, because in Justice League, Steppenwolf doesn't really die. They destroy his axe, and then the fucking parademons attack him for some reason. It doesn't even make sense. And you have no stupid Russian family that for some reason is living in this. I like that it's just abandoned. It makes more sense. So Steppenwolf screams and then gets impaled by Aquaman. Superman punches him into. This is where Wonder Woman, that epic shot of her decapitating him, and his head just flying into Apocalypse, and Darkseid just stomps on it. It's like, and then Desaad just saying, "We knew he was gonna fail," and then Darkseid is like, "We're gonna do it the old ways," and I'm like, "Oh my god, they're getting ready to invade," and then we get like quick shots of them, like, and you have Silas doing this epic speech. I love that whole thing. The shot of Batman on his tank, a good shot of a Flash running, and then you have like a badass shot of Superman, in the Joss and I'm not gonna lie, I even thought that was a Joss Whedon shot to make it like some Reeve shit, but no, that was Zack's shot where Superman goes and walks, and then he opens his shirt and you have the black suit. I like that, and I think it looks better. And actually, no shot of him flying. You didn't need to do that. The quick Deathstroke thing too was awesome, and I actually think Jesse Eisenberg was so much good as Lex Luthor. I actually think his Lex is gonna develop if they let it. He felt very Lex Luthor, just giving Deathstroke. And oh my god, Joe Maggio, I want to see more of. He looks like Deathstroke from the comics. And then the nightmare scene, which Deathstroke was part of too, was awesome with the mohawk, and like I said, the scene with the Joker. I love this movie. This movie was incredible, and I'm gonna be talking about this more. I might be like doing another just a random discussion video on this some point. It's just there's so much to review that it's hard. I hate to have to cram. I just wanted to get like the big stuff in. Martian Manhunter was dope. Dark Side was dope. The nightmare scene was dope. I love this movie. This movie is a 9.8 out of 10. I don't fucking care. This movie is incredible, and I'm gonna watch this a lot. And yeah, this might be my favorite comic book movie. Just the experience overall. I'm sorry, nothing in recent memory has given me a fucking reaction like that. Joker was good, but you gotta remember, Joker is not. I don't look at it as a comic book movie. I just don't. And Logan is more like the end, and it's more of an emotional thing. I can't just put in Logan all the time. This I could put in back to back, even with the dark stuff in it. There's hope in it. You have good fathers. There's no wokeness in it. It's nice being able to talk about a movie and not worry about, oh, there's some shitty identity politics in there. I gotta worry about that. There's nothing like that in this. This is just a movie. If you don't like it, that's not gonna be one of the reasons why you don't like it. You know what I mean? It's nice. This is just a fucking film. Restore the Snyderverse. We better get fucking more. Because if we don't, honestly, that's gonna kill my interest in DC if we don't get more. Because to me, you have a tangible area to go. You open the door for the multiverse anyway. So why the fuck not? Continue this on HBO Max.